Alrighty everyone, hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, my name is Sara. I am a Christian witch, but I'm also a kitchen witch, and we love to talk about all things theology, philosophy, magic, and also sometimes good cooking and a little bit of herbalism too. So if you are new here again, welcome. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you are returning, welcome back. I very much appreciate you being here. Now, we've been talking about kitchen witchery for a while, and that's all well and good, but I would remind you that there are a lot of places outside of just your spice rack that you can still do some interesting green magic from, and that namely has to do with the other products you keep in your home. A lot of times people insist that witchcraft is this thing you have to have a lot of expensive tools for, or that you have to have the certain aesthetic for, or these certain rituals or certain routines, but the reality is that most of what we do can be considered some kind of ritual, right? We have our morning ritual or morning routine. How many people need to wash their face and get centered over a cup of coffee before heading out the door? The essence of magic and spirituality and these little rituals are all around us in our everyday life. And for folks who maybe want to start getting into witchcraft and who just can't find a way to do so without tipping off everyone in their household, I have a couple fun herbalist-centered magical practices that might help you a lot, depending on what resources you have available and what the beliefs are of people in your home, right? Obviously, if you have people who are very against witchcraft, you can't just go around buying a bunch of statues and incenses and oils and candles and crystals and stuff. That would be tipping people off pretty good that you're doing something that other people aren't comfortable with. But if you do things like wash your face, if you do things like drink tea, if you do things like clean your house, chances are there are places you can get a little bit of witchcraft in. To which I might add, one of the greatest things you can add to your daily, reading or repertoire, one of the greatest resources you can have for this kind of stuff is a good herbal encyclopedia, like Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, or also like Anna Franklin's A Hearth Witch's Kitchen Herbal. Both of these have to do with things that you're going to find pretty much anywhere in your spice rack anyway, but beyond that, they're going to give you some more ideas of things you can use all over. For instance, roses. Where might we find roses in a normal everyday setting? Not in a witchy setting, no dried rose petals, something like that. Where might we find roses? I can tell you that I find roses actually in my facial toner, and in fact, when I'm getting facial products, like toner, like anything like that, I'm very much paying attention to what kind of scents or oils or essences are in them, right? So with roses in a facial toner, you can absolutely just hold that bottle and infuse it with your own magic, your own prayers, your own, beliefs and manifestations to charm that entire bottle of rose facial toner to become a beauty glamour, right? Roses are very well known for being these things that bring beauty, love, radiance, all these other kinds of things. And according to Scott Cunningham, so rose is ruled by the element of water, the planet of Venus. It's used for love, psychic powers, healing, love divination, luck, and protection. So not only is this, one of the most easily recognizable flowers, a very big sign of beauty, you can use it in beauty glamours, but it can also attract love. It can attract luck. It can be protective. Think of the thorns on a rose, right? It can also be healing. There are all kinds of things that roses can do. And so if you have, something like a rose facial toner or a rose mask or perfume even, anything like that, you can infuse it with that magic for that glamour. There are other products too that have other things like this. For instance, my makeup wipes actually have lavender in them. Lavender is one of those things that's considered for like sleepy time, right? It's got that aromatherapy belief to it, right? People think that the smell of lavender helps de-stress, helps calm down, helps ease you into a better night's sleep. So when we have lavender too, if in our beauty products, that can also be something to soothe the soul, calm us down, and protect our peace, as well as boost psychic power because of its purple color. Cunningham says that is also for love, protection, sleep, chastity, longevity, purification, happiness, and peace. It's ruled by Mercury and air, which very much are the planet and element needed for mental stimulation, psychic power, and so on. So literally, if you have a rose facial toner and some lavender like eye removal, makeup removal wipes, or just facial cleansing wipes, congratulations. You did it. You actually have a wonderful combo for love, peace, psychic power, and protection. And you know where else this stuff comes in? Not just in facial products. Maybe you don't have a lot of money for a whole skincare routine, and that's fine, but just a bottle of toothpaste. Plain old normal ass Colgate toothpaste is gonna have what flavor? Mint. Mint is one of the prime flavors of not only toothpaste, but breath mints, anything else. It's gonna have that minty flavor, that minty quality. And the thing about mint is that mint is another great herb for communication. How coincidental it is that the things we use to clean our mouth not only have been proven in some studies to reduce like certain bacteria and keep the breath fresh, right? Like that's why so many things are mint flavored, because something about the oils of mint really just get rid of all of that bad breath causing bacteria. But also that this is once again ruled by the planet of Mercury, by the element of air, and has all to do with travel, protection, money, exorcism, all these other kinds of things, and also communication. Mercury is the planet that rules all things communication. Air is all about the intellect and, smarts and truth over feelings, that whole thing, right? So the fact that we're using mint to freshen our breath, to, clean our teeth and our tongue, which we use to talk, yeah, just a simple little bit of like Tic Tac breath mints, or your own toothpaste can be used to infuse your mouth with logic, good speech, clarity, honesty, and, things that protect you from all of the bad in the world, right? As it says in the Bible, because I am a Christian witch, remember, the power of life and death lives on the tongue. If you have something like mint and you can really, ask that mint friend to help you, to bring into your mouth that focus on truth and justice and clarity and honesty, that's really good. That can help you out a lot. And honestly, with the summer coming up right now, you're going to find a lot of fresh mint anyways. I would say if you can get yourself to the store and get some mint, if anyone asks what you're doing, just pop it into a jar of water with some slices of lemon and cucumber, make yourself a delicious infused water. And you can also use that cucumber and that lemon to induce feelings of friendship, of clarity, of peace, and also of healing, right? Mint, lemon, cucumber, and some water. Infuse it there, put it in the fridge, have it as a delicious cold drink for summer, and also one full of magic. Speaking of drinks now though, if you have a very little budget, if you're already going to the grocery store to buy food, what's to stop you from taking a little trip down that aisle there where all the coffee and tea is and picking out a tea? There are tons of teas that they don't need to be witchy in any way. They don't need to be special. They don't need to be super fancy, expensive blends. You can literally just grab a Bigelow box of English breakfast, okay, or maybe even some Earl Grey. Earl Grey especially is one of my favorites because that flavor is so unique, and that flavor is from bergamot oil. Bergamot is a type of citrus that actually was known in the Middle Ages to help with memory retention. So scholars would, consume things with bergamot oil in it, like tea, while studying and reading so that they could better remember the information that they were reading. If you're a student of any kind and you need some study power, bang, grab yourself some Earl Grey tea. It is delicious. It is so good. But likewise, right, other things we were talking about, roses, lavender, you can find tea blends with that. You can find the sleepy time tea, often has lavender and chamomile. You can find immune boosting teas, right, with cinnamon and ginger and all these other things that are really nice and warm and tasty. You can even, if you have coffee and a coffee machine, just throw some spices in there and make yourself pumpkin pie spiced coffee and do anything with that. If you're someone who already, has these things on hand and you like tea and you like these things, by all means, make use of it. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know that you are doing prayers and spells over a cup of Earl Grey tea or a cup of coffee. No one's gonna know. They're too busy minding their own morning ritual of getting that coffee in their body before they get out the door. And lastly, think about your cleaning products. There are so many cleaning products that have certain smells. In fact, my cleaning product, the all-purpose cleaner spray that I love to use, is actually orange scented. And oranges are awesome for wealth, prosperity, luck, and optimism because the orange is associated with the sun and fire. And it's all about that kind of lucky energy. So when I spray my house down to clean it with an orange scented all-purpose cleaner, you bet That is a great opportunity to infuse all that lucky, optimistic energy, not only into, you know, my own energy, but into my home, into the whole energy that I live in. That's powerful. Granted that you aren't allergic or, you know, easily irritated by any kind of fragrances or anything, if you have certain scents that you really like, you know, certain cleaning products that have a really nice smell to them, you can absolutely go and grab some, look up what those scents have to do with, oranges, flowers, anything like that, and invoke that in your magic. That every time you catch a little whiff of that, every time you smell something, that you might remember that intention you set with that specific herb. This also works with candles, this also works with air fresheners, this works with all kinds of things. Just don't overdo it, because if there's stuff that smells too heavy, you can get a headache. But when used sparingly, and when used completely conveniently and casually, it's a great broom closet move. Who's going to think you're doing witchcraft if you go upstairs to your room with a bottle of all-purpose cleaner? If anything, whoever you're living with is probably going to be happy that you're just keeping stuff clean. It's really tempting as, you know, kitchen witches to think that everything revolves around just the food itself. But in reality is, kitchen witches are just a slightly more specific green witch. And when us kitchen witches step back and remember all the other places that herbs come into our life, that, you know, plant matter has its place, cleaning products, skincare, hair care, anything else, we can get a lot done with that as well outside the kitchen. Just make sure that you are being safe, that you're not putting things on your body that you're allergic to, that you're not consuming anything you shouldn't, and that you are staying safe and doing your practice however you need to make it work for you. So I hope this helps, and I will see you guys next time for some more Kitchen Witch chats. See ya!